Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kickback Presents the All Memphis Post Game Show, where we will be breaking down every Memphis Tigers and or Memphis Grizzlies basketball game right after they happen. You don't have to wait for our takes. With me, as always, per usual, is the homie Mase. Mase, what's going on, man?
Been a really rough 3-day stretch of Memphis basketball. We had the Tigers get, another heartbreaker to Houston on Saturday. Sunday, we had the matinee game right in the middle of our day. The Grizzlies give up a game, just blow a lead and let OKC, a team that they should beat, just run away with it in the fourth quarter, just making three after three. And then Monday, not only do we get blown out by the Suns, we get blown out by the Suns at a 9 p.m. tip local time. So everybody's up late and cranky, and we got to go to work in a couple of hours. So other than that, luckily, basketball is not life. In real life, I started a new job today. I'm moving to Memphis in a month. Like, things are looking great in real life, but basketball-wise, it's been rough.
And on top of all of that, you throw in daylight savings time, and people are walking around like zombies today because they don't know what time it is. Nobody knows what time it is.
And I'm still in California, but I'm working Memphis hours, so I'm having to get up at 6 in the morning or be ready at 6 in the morning to work at 8 to 5.
Yeah, hey, I don't envy that, brother. So you get into Memphis in perfect time and get here as soon as possible because that ain't no joke, man. I that daylight savings time stuff hit me some serious this morning. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it is nice that it's light outside later, though. I was like, dang, it's 6 o'clock, 6:30. It's light outside. Sun's still shining.
And now, I mean, that gives you a little bit more energy. So I do like that. And as I was walking to my car from work today in the parking garage, I was like, it's like 5:30. I was like, yeah, it does feel good. This is nice. The sun, I still got like another hour when I get home. If I want to go on a run or if I want to do something outside, I can still do that before without worry of the sun going down.
Did you go on a run?
No. I'm not there yet.
It's the first day.
It's the first day. I told myself I'm gonna have a new routine. So we'll see if I stick to that. But let's jump into these not the Tigers, the Grizzlies. Like you said, they played the matinee game on Sunday yesterday against the OKC Thunder, a game that we seemingly thought they had won. 3 great quarters of basketball, and then in the fourth quarter they just let go of the rope. I don't even know if it was as much as them letting go of the rope or if OKC just took the rope. But OKC comes back with a huge fourth quarter and wins the game going away.
Yeah, I mean, SGA, no one could stop him. He was the best player on the floor, hitting step back after step back. The Poku guy, who was shooting like 2% in his career up to this point, went off for, I don't even remember. I didn't look at the box score because it was one of those games. The Grizzlies were up by 10, like midway through the third quarter, and really just kind of felt like we were up by 10 most of the game. And it's like, okay, when are we going to push this to 20 and get some rest because we're going to Phoenix tomorrow? And I don't know if mentally they just all subbed themselves out or what, but we could not get a stop to save our lives in the fourth quarter against OKC. And that translated over into tonight's game against the Suns, when basically they just did whatever they want to offensively. So pretty concerning, but maybe we just didn't pack the defense, maybe it didn't travel on this road trip.
Well, you expected them to come out on Sunday the way they did, considering how we lost the game to the Nuggets on Friday.
Right.
We lost a tough game on Friday, another game you probably should have won. Although you lost it controversially with the ref not calling the foul on Ja, but like you said, they can go either way. Don't want to leave it in the referee's hands. So you kind of, when you look at these two games, you kind of penciled this in as like going 1-1 on this little trip. You know what I'm saying? At the beginning of this trip, at least, get the one in OKC Sunday and then get to Phoenix, rest up a little bit, and have a good game against Phoenix. So you see how they start the game against the Thunder, and they come out and they're doing well. And then they get to the second half, extend the lead, start playing really well in the third, and then something happens in the fourth. Like I said, I don't know if they automatically started thinking about the Suns because the Suns were a more tougher team. But OKC got back to them, and OKC, that's what they do. They've won what 14 games this year? What's their record? They're 17. They've won 17 games this year, and they weren't predicted to do much of anything. They have been they sneak up on they beat teams because teams overlook them. And then, they have a star in Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, and when you got a player like that, anything can happen. And some stroke of luck, the dude who couldn't hit the side of a barn just decides to make shots tonight. On yesterday afternoon, and there you go. Like, he had a career. It had to be his career high, right? 20.
Yeah, it was. And he had been awful. Like, people who, like Kevin O'Connor, who does the Ringers NBA or the mismatch with Chris Vernon, he was high on him coming into the draft, and he had been so bad that he already threw away all of his stock. He just gave it away. And then he has that bounce back game against us, of course. So he gets to bring it up with Verno. But I thought early on in that Thunder game, one thing that really kept him in the game, well, first of all, the starters didn't really play well. The bench came in and gave us 16 points in that first quarter. But the Thunder shot 10 free throws in the first quarter alone, and it really kept them in the game. We had a 3-point lead, and it should have been 13 or 10-13, but we gave them 10 free throws. So it was just kind of a lack of attention to detail all night. And then another thing, which we'll get into for tonight's game as well, but the ball screens at the top, basically SGA comes off and no one's guarding him. He gets to do whatever he wants, and then he when he gets to feeling it, that was the most dangerous player on the court. And then we just had stupid mistakes, like Ja one time got switched on to SGA, and what we had been doing all game was the guards were kind of switching back, showing and switching back. Well, Dylan took a little bit longer than usual, but Ja didn't really show that hard. And SGA walks into a wide open three at the top of the key, the easiest shot in the game. So it was just a bunch of mental mistakes in that OKC game that added up and allowed them to stay in the game. And then they got hot and we couldn't do anything.
You just look at the numbers from that game. We shot 19 more shots than them. That's laughable. We shot 19 more shots than them.
Look at the turnovers.
25-7. They out-rebounded us
25-7.
Which is crazy.
So we had 18 more possessions than they had. That's ridiculous.
And we lost the game by 6. And you mentioned it earlier that they might not have packed the defense. And maybe I think you said we got too high on the highs and we started to see a little bit, but they didn't pack the shooting either. Not from the 3-point line, at least. Like 7 of 22, which for an old Grizzlies team, that's okay with the Tony Allens of the world. But when you got Desmond Bane, Dylan, even DeAnthony Melton shooting as well as he is, Kyle shooting as well as he is, 7 threes ain't gonna make it. They ain't gonna get it. Even tonight, the last I saw, I stopped watching the game like midway through the third. No, I got through the third quarter, but I think they only made like 2 or 3 threes tonight.
We finished 5 of 24, so you add those together, that's 12 for 46 on this two game road trip. And OKC shot 16 of 31, so over 50%. And then Phoenix seemed like they hit a million, but it wasn't all threes. They were only 12 of 30, so 40% tonight. But they were getting jumpers right at the free throw line because Chris Paul's coming off the screen or not even using the screen, just going by Ja Morant and doing whatever he wants or kicking out to an open shooter. Once that initial point of defense is broken, it's all hell breaking loose from there. You're all recovering, and if one person is off, then a good team like Phoenix and unfortunately OKC yesterday is going to make you pay, and that's what's been happening. And when we were playing good, even when we were losing to Milwaukee and Denver, the defense was in tune. Like there was no open looks, no easy shots. If it was a decent look, like you were getting a hand in your face, contested jumper. So it's just it all starts for me with the defense.
Yeah, I don't know if it was something that's been seen on tape, and teams are now starting to go at it, to exploit it. but their pick and roll defense, like you said, and Jonas being the big in it, having to make a decision, because both of these teams took advantage of that tonight. And so I don't know if that's something that teams are starting to look at a little bit more. And it could just be like we're looking at this as fans and saying, oh crap, to start the second half of the season, we got 40 games in 68 days. So we're looking at the seriousness of every game, right? And what it means. And maybe the organization, and maybe they just like, you know what? We know what we wanted to do this year, and we've done what we wanted to do this year. So if we win, we win. You know, I don't know, but I don't want to say there's been a lack of focus, but you did not expect these two games from this team Friday night after you saw them play Denver.
No, and I guess to give an analogy, have you ever had a puppy?
Back in the day, I'm allergic to some puppies.
Oh, okay. Well, have you ever first of all, this is an analogy that goes with we get two highs with the highs, and then we get two lows with the lows. Because what we have to keep in perspective is this is a super young team, and with that comes major inconsistencies, and that's why we're going on this roller coaster ride of they look like they might be a 5 seed. Well, man, who's in the lottery? Like, this is a juicy lottery. We've been waiting on this draft for years, so we're going to keep swaying back and forth all season long. But my puppy analogy, compared to this team, is it's like when you get a puppy and you think you've got it potty trained, right? So you put down the nice rug that your wife got, and she didn't want to put it down because the puppy might pee on it, but the puppy's potty trained. Well, the puppy ain't never smelled this rug since it's been potty trained, and when it gets a sniff, it pees right on the rug. And that's what the Grizzlies have done these last two games. They peed on our nice rug and just hurt our feelings, but we're not going to get rid of the puppy. We're not going to stop rooting for the Grizzlies, and we're not going to stop believing in them. But it's part of the process. It's going to have its highs and lows, and sometimes the puppy's going to pee on your nice rug, and sometimes it's going to hold it for 8 hours while you're gone.
That's a great analogy, and I love how you, as a dog owner, I know you work hard on that. And it's just the one thing that these games always show you, and I think I've said it after every. I know I've said this after every loss. I might have said it after some wins. It's just like these just make you excited to see what this team looks like whole. And so, like, there was no justice tonight, although he did play yesterday. There was no justice tonight, which was interesting. Once again, I thought you maybe would have saved him from, if you don't want to play him on a back-to-back, you were supposed to beat OKC, so why wouldn't you need him more for this game, I guess, whatever. But there was no justice. Obviously, there's no Jaren. Grayson came back in this game.
Oh boy, did he? He said, "Give me my minutes back."
It was good to see. Like if I'm looking at the game inside the game, right? It's gonna be interesting. If you say it out, it's gonna be crazy to see what they do. It's gonna be crazy to see what they do with that three guards. Tonight it was easy because Desmond Bane sucked on the offensive end. On the offensive end, it was easy. He was over 3. He missed all of his shots. All of his shots were threes. -6 for the game. Let's play some decent defense or whatnot. But you didn't have. It wasn't that hard to make a decision and not have him on the court. He played 22 minutes. Grayson gave you 23 minutes, going 4 for 8, 15 points. And DeAnthony 1 for 7. His shooting is coming back down to earth a little bit. But I also think he's put. I think this. I really don't have that much statistical analysis to back it up. Like, it's just a feeling, how some of these players are. I think he puts a lot of pressure on himself when he plays against the Suns. Since it was his old team, yada, yada, yada. Just something internal. I don't have anything to prove that. Could be completely wrong. But, I think you just know how some players are. Like Javon Carter. If Javon Carter got in the game tonight, did he get in during the blowout?
Yeah, he was in there late.
He had 18 minutes. Javon wants to go hard against the Grizzlies every time he plays us.
Oh yeah,
just because. So I can imagine that's something that DeAnthony does too.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to just not pass judgment because we're all frustrated watching these last two games. But you got to keep the bigger picture in mind. So I'm just hoping that when they come home, things kind of return to normal. They get their wits about them. But it doesn't get any easier. I mean, we got Miami coming into town, then you got Steph and Draymond coming for home back-to-back. So No one's going to take it easy on us. Like the games are only going to get, they're going to come more frequently. Your legs are going to get heavier. So you got 37 more games now, and you got to figure something out. You don't want to be limping for 37 games. That's half the season.
Then you got the Celtics coming in right after that too. So like you got the Heat, Warriors, and the Celtics at home. The Celtics at home on Monday. So is it Monday?
I mean, and
Tuesday, whatever it is.
No one was good tonight, and really no one was that impressive yesterday that I can think of. Nobody that wrote any notes. Yesterday, Ja had the sneak dunk on Moses Brown, the sneak lefty dunk. That someone should show a picture or a clip of that to Jaren Jackson Jr. and be like, "This is what sneaking up on you looks like." Because remember, he referenced his injury his return was gonna sneak up on us. No. So that's how you sneak up on someone.
Oh, I also saw your shady tweet today too, about Klay Thompson. You're like, a real injury update. Good to see that these things still exist. Wink, wink.
And I quote tweeted Mark Spears, but I was trying to find the video because Klay is going in depth. He's like, yeah, I'm definitely not running yet. I'm doing my underwater stuff. I just started calf raises, this, and this. And I'm like, man, that's refreshing. Like we would love that as a fan base. Like, yeah, he's running. He hadn't played in 5-on-5 games, whatever, like something. Yeah. But instead of just the dead silence. But obviously, we're not going to hear anything on that front anytime soon. And I do think when Jaren speaks from now on, we probably need to take it with a grain of salt. We got to remember he's 19 or 20 and just going to say whatever he thinks people want to hear and what sounds good. Yep. So that whole interview with Mark Spears, you got to remember that's just a young man trying to say what people want to hear and sound good in an interview with a prominent source.
Oh, and that's why I think that's why the organization ain't really said much either. Like, because they said, like, look, man, it's going to be a minute. And I remember, like, it's so funny because I think that words they actually used it's going to be a minute. But then it must have been Giannato, who obviously is not from Memphis, but been in Memphis for a long time. And they're like, so what does a minute really mean? And I'm like, we're like, anybody that knows, man, it's been a minute since I talked to them. That means a long time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's not a real time constraint on it because that's what the organization said. And so the organization's always going to lean back on the fact that we never gave y'all a window. We just said it's going to be this. We gave y'all these vague terms. Jaren's the one that went in his interview and said these other things. I will say tonight, Jonas played. I mean, Jonas does well. Like, this is a double-double. I mean, it's still 24 and 17, which is not easy to get in any circumstance. Best playing against a Wildcat in DeAndre Ayton, because, I mean, you know how we do in the league. But
Ayton ain't no slouch, man. That dude is built. Like, Valanciunas puts his body into him, and Ayton doesn't move. Like, he is built for it, literally.
That was good to see Jonas kind of get going. And to see the team kind of get him going, give him the ball a couple times, let him get going, shoot 11 for 14. Kyle is still kind of struggling a bit. I wonder, like, I think we go back to where he fits in all of this with some of the team becoming whole again. Oh, I didn't even know Jonta Porter. I didn't watch the last fourth quarter. So Jonta Porter got in, huh?
Yeah, him and Killian Tilly. I just found out Killian Tilly was white. I thought he was like a light-skinned black French dude or something. I don't know why I assumed that. I guess because Killian Hayes is. I just assumed he looked like Killian Hayes.
It's sad that Campbell's not watching right now because McDoodoo got in the game. Sean McDermott got in the game, his boy. So I'll make sure I text him and get his thoughts on that. But man. No, go ahead.
When our team defense doesn't travel, our boy Dylan Brooks doesn't look as good. We gave up 30 piece to SGA, and then what did Booker finish with tonight? Because he was
30.
He was on a heater. He had 27 on 52 or 53% shooting. So, and Chris Paul had 18 on 9 of 11 shooting, and most of those were patented mid range. That's why I get frustrated with the whole drop defense. Like, Chris Paul's on the Suns. The book has been written on Chris Paul for 13 years now about what he is excellent at. And it's getting right to the free throw line. And either making the mid-range shot or dishing it. And maybe we made the decision we don't want him dishing it. We're going to make him, go 9 for 11, but that just doesn't seem like a smart move to me. But
yeah, I think in his last 2 games, with the games coming back from the break, I think Chris Paul has had double digit assists in 2 of the last 3. So it might have been, all right, maybe if we make Chris Paul take the shots instead of him dishing it to everybody else, I would rather live with Chris Paul taking the shots than, Chris Paul collapsing the defense and then passing it out to Mikal Bridges or passing it out to Devin Booker or Jay Crowder or
lobbing it to Ayton.
Yeah, or Cameron Payne and that cocky left, like that left shot. That left-hand shot is just so weird. It's like the way he shoots the ball just so there he is. There's the boy. Campbell, your boy McDoodoo got in the game, man. I know you were celebrating his accomplishments. But yeah, so it's maybe there was the game plan, but against good point guards, that's like a feast or famine because Chris Paul feasted. He still gave you 16. What is it? 16 and 7?
Yeah.
16 and 7? Yeah, come on, man. Like, what's the difference in him giving you 16 and 7 and him just doing 9 and 14 assists? Like, that's you get the same outcome.
Right. And I thought that was 2 games in a row where Ja didn't really have an impact in the first half for the most part. We get on to Dylan Brooks, or you like to get on to Dylan Brooks for coming out and shooting everything. But I mean, somebody's got to do it. And it's him and Valanciunas almost every game.
We've said it before. I wish we can go back to whatever show we mentioned it like 2 straight shows. Like, Ja, you can't chill in the first quarter, dog. Like, you can't. Because if you chill, and like I said, I think we know that's part of the game plan to try to get Dylan going. And he only took 14 shots tonight. But it's like if you're not taking the shots, then that's mean Dylan's gonna take the shots. So I would much rather I'd much rather Ja take some of these shots than Dylan.
Yeah.
And so you can't be chilling. And he didn't even have many assists either in that first quarter either. So it's like you just running around on the court, my guy. You're just running up and down.
Yeah, I miss a 35 back-to-back Ja, so hopefully we see him soon. But another thing, we got to figure out how the offense is going to get going when they put a guy like Mikal Bridges, who is longer than Winchester on Ja and, just as athletic and can stay with him. We basically have no answer. It's like, all right, we'll try to get the ball to Valanciunas or Dylan dribble, shoot.
Ja needs to take 25 minimum. Whew, that's a lot of shots, Campbell. 25.
I mean, we've seen it once. I think we saw it once. So give me 20. Give me 20 shots. Dylan gets his 20 every now and then. So go ahead and get your 20.
Dylan gonna get his. We know that for a fact. Well, I wish I wrote down my ideal shot chart. Shot distribution. But like, you do want Ja and Jonas probably taking the most shots. Then you have Dylan right under that, Kyle right under that. Then you get into that mix where you Desmond, Brandon Clark, DeAnthony Melton, like all of it. They 7.
You can switch any guy after almost 1 and 2. I feel like whoever's hot takes 12 to 14 shots. Like whoever's hitting it.
And like Brandon Clark, like he had against Denver, he had a really good game. But like I don't want to call him hit and miss, but he's coming off the bench. Sometimes he got it, sometimes he don't. So I guess you can say that's hit or miss. So you look at some of these players and you would think that they would have the flow of the game would kind of be beneficial to them, but not really. Desmond Bane giving you 0 points. Like, come on, dog. You're a starter now. Grayson's back. Grayson's back, my dude. You better. We sang your praises last week because you were playing well, but we also said the moment you start playing well, Grayson gonna get in that starting lineup again. So you gotta pay attention.
I can't lie. I expect to see Grayson starting next game. I saw the twinkle in Ja's eye. We saw the connection. Grayson threw him a lob. I think Grayson's back in the starting lineup, and I don't know if it's fair or right or not. Like I honestly have no preference over any of the 3 shooting guards. But I think we will see Grayson back in that starting lineup because that's what Jenkins always goes to. So we know that's what he wants to do. And I mean, Baines had a rough couple games, maybe a little rookie rough spot, but like I said, I really don't care either which way. But I think Grayson starts next game.
Oh, Taylor Jenkins looking for any reason to put Grayson in there.
Well, and Justice will be back, so maybe one of the wing guys will sit out. Who knows? But after this back to back,
yeah, maybe who though? Maybe DeAnthony gets a break because you're not going to sit BC. Brandon Clark's going to play. Maybe Tillman gets pushed out a bit. I don't know. I like when we went small in the third quarter. You had BC at Brandon Clark at the BC and Kyle on the court at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So whichever was the 4, whichever was the 5. I think that's a nice athletically small lineup. That can do some things. But Kyle has to be playing with confidence, and his confidence has looked a little shaky in the last 5 or 6 games.
Man, I know. Ever since you said the body language thing, I'm waiting on Kyle to be traded.
Have you noticed it a little bit?
I hadn't paid attention to it. I didn't even think about it till we started the show, and you started saying something about him struggling. But I don't know. He was so good early on. He saved our season basically.
That first half of the season, when after Ja got hurt, we basically leaned on Kyle and Dylan to keep the team together. Kyle, Dylan, and Jonas to keep the team together. And then Jonas was out, so Kyle had to do more other stuff. So he was getting these minutes. But now since the team is getting a little more whole, it seems like he's getting a little bit lost as well. I mean, he got 11 shots tonight, so it's not like he's not getting the shots. But he seemed a little bit lost on the offensive end. He always going to give you good defense. He always going to give you those 3 to 5 rebounds. That's just what he does on the minimum. But in terms of his confidence, his shot confidence isn't there. 0 for 3 from 3 today. I think he shot 2 of those in the third quarter. I know, I was paying attention to seeing who was doing what. So it's going to be interesting to see what he got going on.
Yeah, I don't know what his numbers are over like the past 10 or 15 games, but I feel like his 3-point percentage has gone way down.
Yeah.
And that's to be expected, regression to the mean. We knew he wasn't going to be a dead eye 3-point shooter for the rest of his career. But anything else on these 2 games you want to hit on?
No, man. Just the fact that, like you said, we got really high with the highs, trying not to get too lows with these lows. It's a young team, inconsistent team, a team that we expected these type of games from. But you didn't want to see it now because we know how important these games are and the position that we are in. Like you had a team like the Kings lose tonight. You had a team like Dallas lose tonight. You had a couple other teams in that same area as you that would have helped, lose. And so a win tonight or the win yesterday would have really helped. But I guess it's one of those things where, man, you want to stay competitive. You don't want to get blown out. You want to stay competitive against the good teams and beat the teams that you should beat, and we'll be good. So try not to get too low on this. We'll need to come home, get some good home cooking, go to Gus's. You know what I'm saying? Get some barbecue or something, get ready, or maybe the Wing Guru, whatever. I don't know what these players eat these days. And get ready for the heat because the heat tough.
And they've been really good lately.
Yeah. Dylan got to get ready for Jimmy Butler. Bam has been hurt, so I don't know if Bam's gonna be playing, but they got Kelly Olynyk, who's a different type of big, so Jonas has to be prepared for that. You know what I'm saying?
Is Myers Leonard coming to Memphis? Is he driving his jacked up truck with the American flag and rebel flag on it?
Yo, poor Miles Leonard. Not even poor Miles Leonard, dog. Like, talk about digging yourself a grave. Whew. Talk about self-inflicted wounds. And I love the fact that people brought up the picture of him standing for the anthem in the bubble. It was like we knew it was you, bro. You told on yourself a long time ago, my guy.
Yeah.
So, Ching still open?
he was that he was that well researched when it came to the anthem, and then
Right.
just never heard of the slur he used. They're like, what? Even you can not know what that word means, and as soon as you hear it, you're like, I don't need to be saying that. Like that's a bad word.
It doesn't sound like something I should be saying. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's my take on it, man. What you got? Any final thoughts?
Nah, man, I ain't got nothing. I think we hashed it all out. You want to do superlatives? Do they deserve superlatives?
I'll just for tonight. I'll holler at Jonas. I mean, Jonas gets my player of the game. The team as a whole, they get the bum of the game, but they get the bum of the 2 games for the last whatever.
I have a play of the game.
Go ahead.
The Ja Morant to Brandon Clark lob, which we get, it seems like 2 or 3 of a night, which is crazy because for like 12 years of Grizzlies basketball, I feel like we had like 2 the whole time. And now we get them all the time in the game. But this one was late in the third. I thought we were going to make a comeback. Ja tossed it to BC in the lane. He dunked on like 2 people, got fouled, no call. But that was my play of the game. It was a nice play.
Yeah, that's it. Ja had the two-hand dunk too. Ja had a 2-hand dunk in the third quarter. I really like. Yeah, so that's it. And then didn't win any money yesterday. Dang, and I don't even think I did a stats jump. I think I just did like the Grizzlies minus whatever, like because they were a big favorite and like they're gonna beat this team. They're gonna beat this team. And they lost. And then tonight, I usually have the Suns. Suns is one of those teams where I got them pegged in the whatever, but it didn't work out tonight either. I had but you know what, bro? College basketball, dog. College basketball, the conference tournament saved me. But for this game, I had Kyle Anderson getting over 8.5 points. He had 9, had to sweat that one out. Kyle getting over 4 rebounds. He got that. Jonas getting over 12.5 points. He got that in the first quarter. Jonas getting over 8 rebounds. He got that in the first half. Ja getting over 15 points. Had to sweat that one out.
Well, he hit it. He got 15.
DeAndre Ayton getting you over 8 rebounds. DeAndre Ayton giving you over 13 points. And then I brought it back a little bit. I said, Dylan Brooks, I usually get 15. I said he'll get Dylan Brooks over 13.5 points. He finished with 13. I could have went with then Mikal Bridges over 12.5 points.
Mm-mm.
What did he get? 8? He finished with 6 or 8?
I think 5. I want to say it was 5.
7 points for Mikal Bridges. Only took 5 shots, and then when I looked at checked the stats at halftime, I'm like, oh yeah, he ain't getting that. He's not gonna score 12 points in a half. He just ain't gonna do it. Mm-hmm. Although the last time he played him, he hit like 6 threes against us. Then I had Chris Paul getting 8 assists, and he finished with 7. So, and I would submit that they did not give him one of his assists. They didn't. He was a fast breaker. He passed the ball to Devin Booker on the wing for 3. And I checked the stats before and I checked it after, and they still said he only had 6 assists. They didn't give him that one, so whatever.
Look at you sticking up for Chris Paul.
No, I'm sticking up for my money. That's what I'm sticking up for. Chris Paul can win me some money. I'm gonna mess with him. But nah, man. So, like I said, it was like Dylan was a point away. All he had to do was make one more free throw. Yeah, he didn't even shoot a free throw. He went 6 for 14. Make a bucket, and I got Dylan's. If Mikal gives you anything that he normally gives you, whatever. But Dylan got to stop being so demonstrative too. He gets a tech every game. Him or Ja gets a tech every game, and they got to stop. That's gonna do you no good.
Yeah, both of them. We got to get the body language back in order. We got to get some good vibes about us. So hopefully the M brings that to us when we get back, and we will be back with y'all Wednesday night. I don't know what time the game is, but I imagine 7 o'clock since it's in Memphis. In the meantime, y'all can find the show wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify, iTunes. Just search in All Memphis Post Game. Give us a review. Leave us 5 stars. Subscribe so it comes right to your phone anytime we post an episode. And y'all can find me on Twitter at BarnBurnerSlim. I'll see y'all Wednesday. Jay, where can they find you?
They can find me at Nerdy McFly on the Twitter, NERDYMCFLY. On the Facebook, they can find the show at the Kickback Pod, or on YouTube, they can find the show at Diamond in the Bluff Media. Just search that and you'll see all the post-game recaps for the Grizzlies and the Tigers. And we still got Tigers games left. We didn't know if we were going to have any, but we still got some. And I'm excited. Win the NIT.
We ain't quite dancing, but we like cha-cha sliding maybe.
This y'all at the beginning of the dance, when at the beginning of the party, when they playing all the line dances just to get people on the floor. So you might hear the original electric slide and all of that stuff. Campbell out here talking about Henny White, and he got the bottles, man. So we gonna have to get it. So when you get back, we can partake in it together. But yeah, man, for Mase, I am Jamal, and we are out.
Print the NIT shirts.